Now, I will say I think Kirwan is very research-based. They had a lot of experts in, they did a lot of visiting different places and that sort of thing. Any teacher will tell you that a child who has pre-K experience or something similar, even if it's just at home, does much better. They're more kindergarten ready. And if they're more kindergarten ready, then they're more first grade ready. We have in Maryland right now, I think, almost half of our student population living in poverty. And if you live in poverty, you don't have books at home. And you don't have experiences like I had when I was little. And so I think the push for pre-K is to try to ensure that every child is kindergarten ready when they get to kindergarten. They know their numbers, they know their colors. Things that I would have assumed mommy and daddy might have done, but mommy and daddy may not have time to do it, or mommy and daddy may not, they may be single parents, or you know, whatever the situation is. It's just, it wasn't happening for a lot of our kids. So I think that was, I think education is an investment. So I think that's spot on. I worry a little about this career ladder thing, because anytime they've tried something like this, Baltimore City just did it a few years ago, you know, where you can sort of choose your salary by accomplishing certain things. And the problem is they always run out of money. They never can pay for it. So I'm hoping that they'll find a way to pay for it. But, you know, if you're a teacher, there's nowhere to go unless you leave the classroom. So you can't get more money unless you can negotiate raises, and teacher salaries have been pretty flat for a long time. So I think, you know, depending on how the career ladder works, it may be okay in terms of things like national board certification. I don't know how many national board certified teachers are in Kent County, but I know some counties really push it, and you get a bump in salary for that. You used to get $2,000 from the state, and I think most districts match that. So that was an automatic $4,000. You have to renew it every 10 years. You're not just once and done. I think that made teachers feel very professional. And most teachers that I talked to that went through the program said they learned an awful lot about themselves and their teaching. So I think that was a good thing. Lead teachers and things like that, if they pick the right ones, it'll be great, because there is a mentoring program supposedly in place in every district, but there aren't any criteria. It's not the same from place to place. I mean, in some districts, it's a very formal program. In other districts, it's, this is your buddy teacher, you know. Right. So while I think mentoring is a really good thing, it's not good if it doesn't work. You know, MSEA did a survey a year or two ago about how many teachers work second and third jobs, and there are a lot. I want to say it was like 52% or something. I don't know. It was an astonishing number for people who are supposed to be professionals, who should be making a professional salary. So is it going to help that much? I don't know, but maybe it'll help them at least not have to have second and third jobs, because how can you do a good job as a teacher when you're dividing your time? To me, it's sort of a program that other countries have done for a long time. Everybody should be college ready, even if they don't go. Now, I say that knowing full well that some students are not going to achieve at the levels of others. But we're supposed to try to do our best to get everybody as far as they can go. Career ready is where we're talking about the career technical education, which to me is like apprenticeships and stuff. And I know I went to high school in Germany in the 60s, and the Deutsche Gymnasiums had apprentice programs there for people starting in the 8th grade back then. So we've sort of missed the boat on some of this. And when we got to the point where we thought everybody should go to college, we started neglecting the technical careers, the ones that we can't outsource, like bricklaying and plumbing and electricians and mechanics, and you know, things that are critical to our society. And people who go into those fields generally make pretty good money if they're good at it. Sure. Yeah. So You know, I think every student should leave school ready to do something. You know, children don't choose their circumstance, and they come to school, who knows what's on their mind. You know, it could be as simple as I broke up with my boyfriend. It could be as traumatic as we had to move because we couldn't pay the rent anymore. You know, we're living in the car. You just don't know what these kids come to school with, but we do know that a lot of them are struggling, and social emotional behaviors. A lot of kids have those, and we're not sure, is it because your parents were on drugs? Is it because there's nobody there to help you when you have issues? Is there nobody there to teach you how to resolve conflict? You know, that sort of thing. So I think kids, especially little kids, you know, when you hear of a first grader being taken out of a school in handcuffs, there's something wrong, and we have to get to the bottom of it. And that's, again, where more counselors and mental health people will help, I hope. You know, they keep wanting to make teachers more and more accountable, and that's okay, as long as it's a fair system. Most teachers don't mind being held accountable. It's when the deck is stacked against you. So I think if, you know, I believe if they're going to put that much money into anything, they need to monitor it, and they need to make sure it's doing what it's intended to do. And if it's not, then they better stop doing it and figure out what they need to do instead. Because too many times you go down the road, you know it's the wrong road, you don't turn back, and you wind up getting lost. So we don't want that. You know, the whole point is to improve the educational system. And if we're doing something that's not working, then we need to stop doing it. Now, again, I'll go back to what I said before. Having parents involved with their kids at home is huge, and even having communities involved, you know, supporting programs at the schools and supporting kids when they see them, and volunteering and things like that. I mean, those are tremendous assets if we use them.